I'm really impressed with the sentiments of the respondents there. Fortunately, they are my colleagues and they are my friends. And it's as if we're in the same spirit, because really the thoughts that brought about the topic have been discussed by them. I know that our guests in the studio will add to just add some flesh and body to it. A while ago, when Rose was talking, she said the rain did not give notice, it just came like that. Yes, that is God for you. Will God ask you before he does anything? The Yoruba call him, who can ask you anything? So who are you, me, to ask God, to question God? Anyway, as lawyers, we call something expertise. That thing without notice, boom, it will just fall like that. Just like accidents, anyway, God help us. Accident does not give notice that it will happen, particularly vehicular accident. But be that as it may, today's topic is interesting. And now I'm looking at it from another hilarious angle. You've set up a plan that you want to get married. And you know, before you get married, there will be background activities. You go meet the husband's wife, the wife's family, and you ask them, what's the bride price? They will tell you the things to bring and all. And on wedding day, when everybody is ready, they will call it the person who is standing for the groom and the one who is standing for the bridegroom. Right. So when they are now there, then you, the husband, the mother of the wife, will go and tell the one standing for you, go and tell them that the price don't increase. So they will say, what? A bride price don't increase. Don't you know that you are in an uncontrolled price regime? Our guest today is Comrade Declan Ihekari. He is a human rights activist par excellence. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
Unfortunately, I know you have a girl child.
Yes, I have.
So please, don't go where I just finished now.
No,
bride price.
I won't do that. I won't do that.
It's good to have you on the show, sir.
Thank you so much. Well, we're used to it.
We are Luther people now. Come rain, come shine. I didn't we sing Solida.
No, do that
No.
It's all right now, please, fire on. Uncontrolled price regime in Nigeria.
Well, I appreciate the topic of today. It's an interesting one that will really speak to the mindset of an ordinary citizen in the streets. But it's quite unfortunate that we are where we are today. Nigeria happens to be a country of money making, where every citizen toes the step of the government and those in power to make money. And making that money, they want to make it anyhow. And we're also in a country where we've seen a government that should have bridged the gap between those exploiting the citizens and citizens, and they are not doing anything about it. Rather, the government encourages exploitation. We're in a country where of recent, DSTV operators, or DSTV as a company, came up and told Nigerians they were going to increase the money, the subscription. And the Nigerians shouted. What did the government do? They couldn't do anything. We're in a country where electricity price went up. The government did not protect the citizens. We're in a country where cement prices went so high as much as 14,000 naira per bag, from 4,000 plus. Nigerians shouted. The best thing the government could do was to engage the manufacturers of cement together in a conference room and had a discussion. And they said, okay, the price will come to about 7,000 thereabouts. Ask me, sir, till today, the price of cement is not 7,000 naira. It means the government has lost the control of controlling the prices. And so they have given the understanding to an ordinary citizen that you can do anything and get away with it. You see, until we get to the level of he that must come for equity must come with clean hands, it is not the duty of you and I to check the excesses of prices of items here and there. It's not our duty. It is the primary duty of the city of the government. And if the government has fallen short of that, the victims would definitely be the masses. I give you another instance. Transportation. How come the bus you bought today for 100 naira, in the next few minutes, it has rained now, you will pay 200 naira, and nobody's checking? Nobody says, no, don't do this. How come of recent we saw that there was a little fuel crisis issue in this country, and we knew how much fuel was before that period? As soon as the crisis was over, those who raised their price from 650 naira to 1,000 naira are still selling at 1,000 naira till date, and nobody's checking, because the government has gone to sleep, because they don't feel the pain the ordinary person on the street feels. They have the luxury of wealth. Even if you call a liter of fuel 10,000 naira, they can afford to do that. They afford to buy it. But if it's a government that feels the pulse of the ordinary person on the street, we will have what is called price control agency. Of course, we had in those days, where you cannot sell more than a certain prices in a particular market. Now look at this, look at the supermarkets. If you can't check what happens on the streets, you can check what happens in an organized market. In an organized market, look at supermarkets. How come what you buy in supermarket A, same item, the price is different from what you buy in supermarket B, and nobody is checking? We must get to the level of accepting our responsibility and carrying it out to the latter. If we don't, we'll keep on running from one post to the other. What pains me more is when government gives directives and such directives are not carried out. We have an agency in the petroleum sector, that the duty of that section is to check price hike, is to check quality and quantity of petroleum products. When last did you see them going to check people shortchanging Nigerians by selling lesser fuel to Nigerians? And so Nigerians are looking up to their leaders. An average businessman in Nigeria wants to be rich, because one, those who ought to be our servants that we voted into power have lost it totally.
You just thought something very, 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 very germane. I guess it was during the era of Obasanjo. People in the PPRC or PPRD.
PPRD, yeah. Department, yeah.
Petroleum Regulation.
Yes, and DPR. There was DPR too, yeah.
But it's the petroleum.
Yes.
You go to petrol stations.
Yes.
That sell above the pump price.
Yes, and check the quantity too.
That's not where I'm going.
Okay.
They now open the pump free. They sell to the motorists
free
as punishment.
As a punishment, yeah. You're right. You're right. Very right.
I'm sure those who are
very, very right.
Watching knows this.
Very, very right.
So what kills that regime?
Yeah.
We are talking about regime now.
Very well.
I just want to please, don't bring the Anuta in me.
No. Go ahead. Just go ahead.
just be bringing out the word, but don't let me become the cold guest, because that was what I planned before. That will be the cold guest today, and I wanted to fire.
It's all right.
So, what killed that regime?
Okay.
Because when the petrol stations, that's the petrol profit shares, hear that petrol station B.
It's short.
Not short.
Okay.
They just sell their petrol free. People will go there and buy. They will be pumping. Even people, maybe 20 liters, not full tank anyway. Then the next petrol station will draw their hair. They will behave themselves. But now it's uncontrolled. Why?
Thank you. I've told you that most of the problem we're having today starts from the head. I tell you one thing. 90% of the petrol stations we have in this country today belongs to the people in power. 90% belongs to the people in power. And that is why those agencies you have just referred to now cannot do the needful. You do the needful, the next thing you see, they fire you. It was like what I was telling somebody a few days ago. I said, we're in a country where we have an agency of the government that's supposed to check corruption, EFCC. And we're in a country where majority of those who screened the EFCC chairman, the senators, majority of them have cases to answer before the same EFCC. And you see the EFCC chairman going to bow for such people. And you want somebody that bow for them to check them. And that's the area I'm going now, that most of those filling stations now are owned by big men. The same thing you are talking about, I can also make a reference to the fact that why the trailers cannot leave Osho, the Apapa Expressway, is because you and I don't have a stake there. We don't have a trailer there. Most of those trailers belong to the big men. And so nobody can control them. And that's the problem we're having. You go today and say an agency of the government should go and close one filling station.
In other countries of the world,
yes,
have been opportune to travel out.
Yes.
They are trailers.
Yes.
And they have what you call trailer parks.
Very well.
As you go on the major roads, you see a large space. When a trailer is about, even if they have issues on the main road, there is a big truck that pulls them off into the trailer park, or wherever they break down, they are moved off. Where am I going to now add to what you are saying? If there is no trailer park, and I guess another minister came in during maybe Jonathan,
yes,
or the first time of Buhari, who now, of course, I remember Opefa,
Commissioner for Transportation in Lagos State, yes.
When he was
Ministry in Abuja.
In Abuja,
yes, yes.
Involved in something like that.
Very well.
So they were trying to clear that corridor. I don't know why. Maybe Opefa indeed stepped on some powerful tools, because all of a sudden he was doing a good job. He cleared that Apapa Oshodi Expressway. All of a sudden, Opefa was removed to confirm what you just said. Yes. And as I'm talking to you now, I'm sure, because it's a long time since I've been to that Apapa axis, I'm sure the trailers are back there.
They are back there. They are back there.
You know, you use one language now. I say, I am sure. I don't know who, but I'm sure.
They are back there. They are back there. You see, the problem is this. We need to get it right in this country. Nigeria is so blessed, very blessed, that an ordinary man on the streets wants to cooperate, wants to work in tandem with the system. But the system being operated that ought to be guided by our leaders are unguided. And so that's why you see free for all. Anything happens, anything goes.
I want to ask, as regards, yes, we're talking about oil. Now let's come to markets.
Very well. Okay.
Let's move now. Yeah. Now I realize that sometimes, like we said, the market they just changed the prices. Yes, they got it at an outrageous price, but they make a whole lot of gain, like double of probably the amounts they use in buying all the gain they're supposed to buy. Now we know that the government has not actually found a way to control the markets. But why do you think we Nigerians, we are the ones doing ourselves? Because we are the ones that get this good. We complain about the price, but by the time we are reselling, we don't complain about our own reselling price. So why do you think we are the one that keeps doing this and still blame the government eventually?
Yeah, you see, we I've just told you that we're in a country of money making. And that is because we look up to what we see. What do we see up there? We see people living affluently. We see people who ought to be our servants, living more than we that put them where they are. So an average person in the streets wants to exploit somebody else. And that's why you find so many duplications here and there. You see so many people doing certain things in order to exploit. It has gone beyond the ordinary market. It has entered places of worship. And that's the truth. An average olive oil in the market goes for about, then I used to buy like 400 or 500 naira. But in some ministries, that exploitative tendency, they will now coin it with some spiritual coloration and tell you that this oil is an oil from heaven. An oil of 500 naira will become 2,000 naira or 5,000 naira. That's exploitation.
And unfortunately, people will be scrambling.
They will scramble to buy. That is why I said we're in a country of money making. That everybody don't care. All they want is how to make the money, because nobody's checking. Nobody's checking. It's not you and I that will enter the market, that will enter Igbo market and begin to tell them bring down the price. We can't do it. If you try it, they will stone you. But we have people that can do it. What is local government doing?
Before we go to that aspect, another area that I'm looking at is that area of the manufacturers. Vis-a-vis the distributors. To me, what is the cost of producing one item? I won't mention a name, or a detergent anyway. What is the cost of producing a detergent? What is the landing cost in the distributor's shop or warehouse? Then what is it? What is the margin added to the final retailer in the market or in the small shop by the street corner? That you now find out that something that ordinarily will see. For example, I used to be a poultry farmer, and I still want to look at it as using a tray of egg should not be more than maybe 1,000 naira. But the table price is 4,000 naira. That the last time I knew. I wouldn't know how much it is now because we are in an uncontrolled regime. And where am I going is that? Is it the egg? Is it the chicken or the hen that is producing the eggs that is now increasing the price? No doubt, I know that there are some things that go into it, like their food and so on and so forth. Yes, but where am I going is that, is there no calculation on the prices, on the average between the producer and the final consumer? Because the thing is ori. Yeah. And why must it be ori? Why must it be uncontrolled?
Thank you. You are going into some private businesses, like the poultry thing you mentioned. Is more of private than more of individual, than more of the government. Let's come back home. I will use a popular example, Dangote. How come Dangote cement goes up and nobody asks him questions? He gets the lime from here. How come he kept on shouting, Dangote refinery, Dangote refinery? Now Dangote is what is producing diesel. How much is diesel in the market? I listened to one of the speakers on air. I was asking. He gets the crude. He doesn't import the crude. He doesn't import the crude. The crude comes directly from us down to him. And that takes me back to one of my social media publication on him then, when there was a meeting between the cement producers and the government. I said, oh, I had thought that Dangote is a friend of the government. And if truly he's a friend of the government, he should consider this government by bringing down the prices of cement. Sir, he that pays the piper, that takes the tune. That's what we're getting in this country. That's what we're getting. Because I understand the Dangotes, the Lafarge you're seeing today, most of the stakeholders there are the people in government who doesn't want to lose their money.
At time, that's where I'm going now. At time is not our side.
Yes.
And the way I see it, you don't feel if you don't come next week, tell Nigerians he must come. He must come next week.
We need to finish this.
We must to finish it because he don't draw my blood. We go, it don't win today. Yes. We must do 1-1 or make me win. Anyway, where am I going? Maybe just as a teaser, testing the airport. I know, you are going outside this country.
Yes.
I've worked and some of us have traveled and people
very well.
You don't just go to the supermarket or anywhere,
yes,
and the prices are just what you got yesterday.
Yes.
It's different. It's not. In fact, the plane ticket, people, for the one that affects us, the plane, the amount of money for you pay for airfare is still stable. It is the Nigerian naira that is tumbling and tumbling against this
dollar. Yeah.
But let's leave that. Where I'm going is that I know that government can set up agencies in all spheres. You're saying about people not going to the market. It's possible that government agencies, private regulatory agencies can be set up. And I'm saying this so that Tinubu will hear and send it to Tinubu. We can't continue like this, that the price regime will be uncontrolled. People will just be putting price, setting up price the way they like. It's not fair. It does not make for room for planning.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
So how do we get out of this thing?
Well, we can only get out of it when the agencies, I know there were agencies, when they wake up to perform their duty. When they wake up to perform their duty, Nigerians will do the needful. I remember then, war against indiscipline. You dare not get to a bus stop and you just shunt and get into the bus. You dare not wee anywhere. Nigerians were controlling themselves.
Price was controlled.
Prices were controlled. You know why? Because the head then, those at the helm of affair, had this control over Nigerians. Not fear, not in fear, but they were giving us, they were servicing us. We were enjoying the service. What service do you get from your government today? What do you get now from the government?
Nothing.
The government ought to be the chief security officer that should safeguard you. Today you have your own megad, you have your own, you create your own borehole, you have everything yourself, your own NEPA, you create it, and you have a business of your own. Sir, you will want to cover up for those things. You are in a country where you wake up today, electricity tariff goes up, nobody talks. You're in a country today, you wake up, price of gas, you can't, kerosene is not even nowhere now, you can't find kerosene.
The second one, maybe we in the civil societies, can we now come together, and I'll give you that responsibility. You are doing something great with the police people.
Very well.
I know you are doing something great.
Yeah.
I saw a test of somebody who has issues, and you people intervene.
Very well.
Right, you are doing a great job.
Thank you.
I'll give you this responsibility on behalf of Nigerians. Me and you, we've been inside this agriculture.
Yes.
He's a civil society man.
Yeah.
So I'm giving you a responsibility. That responsibility is that you and some other civil society leaders.
Very well.
Yes. Right.
Yes.
Let's see how we can set up the office of ombudsman.
Yes.
Instead of us shouting all over, I will be the lawyer to ensuring that we strengthen and smoothing this thing to becoming a law and act of the National Assembly.
Yeah.
I know the National Assembly members will not allow this to happen, but we'll wait for them during the next election. As President of Voters Awareness Initiative,
you are correct. We can do that. We can do it, and it can be successful.
It will be successful.
You see.
You agree with me that it will be successful.
I agree with you because we are coming from the same background.
The Bible tells me two shall agree on an issue.
We have same background, so it will definitely come to pass. It will work. There's no doubt about it.
I would really like to see.
We must do it because this is the only way we will save our country. Some people say democracy cannot work, but here we are. Some people say the ballot cannot work. Here we are. It's because people worked it. So if we have uncontrolled price regime in this country, then some people must work it, not talking it, but working it. We have done with talking. Now we are now it's time to work, and we work it out so that there's sanity in the land. We can't continue like this all the time. We can't continue because it's quite irritating. You end your pay is given to you at the end of the month, and it doesn't take you home. There was the meaning of this.
There's nothing there.
That does not take you home.
There's nothing there.
Your closing.
Yeah, my closing remark is that Nigerians in business should also be mindful of the fact that those that will suffer it are the same ordinary people on the street. It's like a man living in a glass house should not throw stone. When you sell things above the prices, it will definitely turn around. It will definitely have a negative effect in the society. So we should wake up and do what is right. If you buy something You will make gain, of course, but don't
Exploit.
exploit.
I totally agree with you. In just simple terms so that people understand, if you're selling rice, remember you still have to buy soap, you still have to buy your shoes, your clothes. So the person that's coming to buy rice, and makeup. So the person coming to buy rice from you, you're increasing the price. The person also increases the price. And at the end of the day, we are all wounding and injuring ourselves. Thank you very much, comrade.
Thank you so much.
An amazing one. Like you said, you feel so. We want you to come back again.
You rushed that. Tell him very well. You rushed it. Like I said, it didn't kick you.
We're expecting you next week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.